Good afternoon, folks. It's a wonderful sunny yet snowy day, and oh boy, is it fun to stay inside and read some wonderful news about upcoming movies or movie that everyone's anticipating in December. I know there's a big rumor about it being reshot and the Rise of Skywalker is going to suck, but hey, we've got J.J. Abrams on board, so he knows what he's doing. After all, Episode 7 was such a success. They made Episode 8, and that was such a success that they made Episode 9. So naturally, he has some good words to say about his production. I mean, why would he say bad things, of course? I found myself doing things I'm not sure I would have been as daring to do on Episode 7. Well, that's a pretty routine statement, considering how Episode 7 was a carbon copy of A New Hope. But yeah, JJ, what do you have to say that was so new and exciting in the world of Episode 9? The circle is complete. Next month, the final installment in the trilogy of trilogies, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, will finally arrive in cinemas. The journey has been a long one. The filmmaker was not initially meant to help Episode 9, but that's right, after Colin Trevorrow stepped away. Okay. So on this one, I let myself be, at least in the way I was approaching the thing, freer. Okay, in Episode 7, I was adhering to a kind of approach that felt right for Star Wars in my head. You know what that's like saying? That's like saying, when I photocopied this book, I felt like I wanted to photocopy it on a slight angle and use red paper. That's essentially what he did with Episode 7, okay? It's a carbon copy of A New Hope. Everyone knows this. All the story beats are the same. Throw in random characters, put characters from a previous movie, make them older. That's it. That's all it was. It was a carbon copy. It was about finding a visual language, okay, that has nothing to do with the story, but sure, like shooting on locations and doing practical things as much as possible. That's all part of the filmmaking process. That's fine. And we continue that in Episode 9. But I also found myself doing things that I'm not sure I would have as daring to do on Episode 7. I think that's his congenial way of just answering the question in the nicest way possible. It's like saying, so, how are you doing in Episode 9? Well, it's a lot different than Episode 7, but I'm doing it just a bit more. Just a bit. It's a funny way of saying that we're doing a great brand new thing. It's gonna be great. That sounds like a cue from Rian Johnson. Oh no, it doesn't. No one knows the cues of Rian Johnson. I can assure you that. The Last Jedi was a breath of fresh air in the Star Wars universe. That's akin to saying this pile of manure has been freshly minted. That is the breath of fresh air that is Episode 8. Ryan helped remind me that that's why we're on these movies, not to just do something that you've seen before. Abrams said, well, I wish he would have said that to you before you made Episode 7 there, buddy, before you created an entire Mary Sue character that pushed the story along wherever the hell it was going. I don't even think you know what to do with Rey anymore. I don't think no one does, because she's a big, giant unknown. I won't say that I felt constrained or limited on 7. You were constrained by the amount of paper and the size of the photocopier you were using. That's pretty much what you were constrained by. But I found myself wanting to do something that felt more consistent with the original trilogy than not. Well, that's interesting. I guess you could say that Empire was the black sheep of the original trilogy. And boy, oh boy, did we get the inverse of that in Episode 8. Probably the negative inverse or some other value. so I don't want to use math terms. I probably got that wrong. But, to start talking about the original trilogy, how you're inspired and all this and that is just like, we don't mind J.J. Abrams being inspired by the original trilogy. We mind it when he copies and pastes. That's the problem. And on 9, I found myself feeling like I'm just going to go for it a bit more. He's just going to go for it because absolutely nothing happened in Episode 8 aside from some deaths and, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of deaths, really. That's about it. They were exactly the same position as they were at the end of episode 7. So you better do something original, buddy. You better push the plot forward in some direction because it's not going to mean anything. You can read. Okay, so that was about it. Very simple article, but just to goes to show you that this guy has no idea what he's on about. And to say he's pushing the envelope by doing a carbon copy, anything would be pushing the envelope if you carbon copy a previous installment in a trilogy. That's kind of obvious. So it's, oh yeah, we're not doing episode 6 the same way we're doing episode 9. Yeah, thanks. It's great, fantastic. Keep on trucking there, Mr. Abrams. I hope the rumors or the reshoots are all rumors. That would be really good to know that everything's just going just fantastically. And come December, we're all going to have a really great time. You're going to tell a wonderful story. You're going to fix all the mistakes, of course, of the previous movie from Mr. Johnson. And everyone's going to have renewed faith in Disney. Disney's stock price is going to skyrocket. It's going to do so well at the box office. And all our faith is going to be restored in the franchise. Thanks for listening, guys. Have yourself a great day.